Building wealth in America isn't a game of math, it's a game of behavior. And if you don't master your mind, your bank account will always be a slave to your impulses. You see, the most dangerous lie we believe about the rich is that they are simply smarter or harder working than everyone else. But when you look at the psychological blueprint of a man like Bill Gates, you realize that his massive fortune wasn't just built on code. It was built on a specific, almost paranoid relationship with risk and luck. Most Americans are out here trying to predict the next big stock surge or timing the housing market, but the Gates philosophy teaches us that survival is actually the highest form of wealth. He famously kept enough cash in the bank to run Microsoft for a full year with zero revenue coming in, a move that seemed overly cautious to some, but was actually the ultimate psychological safety net. Money facts. USA is here to tell you that if you want to win, you have to stop playing for the next month and start playing for the next decade. The psychology of enough is where most people trip up in our consumer-driven society. We live in a world that constantly shifts the goalposts on us. You get the raise, so you buy the bigger truck. You get the bonus, so you upgrade the kitchen. But the secret Gates mastered early on is that your savings rate is actually the gap between your ego and your income. If you can keep your ego small while your income grows, that gap becomes the engine of your freedom. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being strategic. Bill Gates didn't just get lucky by being born into a family that could afford a computer in the 1960s. He was smart enough to recognize that luck and risk are two sides of the same coin. He knew that for every success story fueled by a fortunate break, there's a hidden story of someone who did everything right but got hit by a random catastrophe. Understanding this allows you to stay humble when you're winning and resilient when the economy takes a turn. One of the most profound shifts you can make today is to start saving like a pessimist, but investing like an optimist. This is a core pillar we advocate for here at Money Facts USA. It means you expect the world to be messy in the short term, recessions, job losses, or market corrections, so you build a fortress of cash. But simultaneously, you have an unshakable belief that over 20 or 30 years, American innovation and the markets will move upward. This duality is what keeps you from panic selling when the headlines get scary. Most people do the opposite. They invest like pessimists, staying on the sidelines out of fear, and they save like optimists, assuming they'll never lose their job or face a medical emergency. By flipping that script, you're not just managing money, you're managing your own stress levels, which is the real key to staying in the game long enough for compound interest to do the heavy lifting. Think about your time as your most valuable asset because that's exactly how the ultra-wealthy view it. There's a famous story about Gates looking at Warren Buffett's calendar and seeing it was mostly empty. It shocked him because he thought being a serious person meant being busy every single minute. But he realized that if your schedule is full of busy work, you have no time to think, no time to pivot, and no time to spot the next big opportunity. Wealth is actually the ability to wake up and say, I can do whatever I want today. If you are tied to a desk just to pay for a lifestyle you don't even have time to enjoy, you aren't wealthy. You're just a high-income earner with a lot of debt. Money Facts USA wants you to realize that the end goal of all this investing isn't just a number in a brokerage account. It's the sovereignty over your own Tuesday morning. Success also requires an obsession with learning that goes far beyond a college degree. Gates is known for his Think Weeks, where he disappears into a cabin just to read and process information. While you might not be able to disappear for a week, you can certainly stop scrolling and start studying the systems that govern your world. Whether it's understanding how tax laws in the US favor business owners or learning the mechanics of a Roth IRA, that knowledge is the armor that protects your wealth. The psychology of money isn't about knowing the right formulas. It's about knowing yourself. It's about recognizing when your brain is trying to trick you into a get-rich-quick scheme and having the discipline to choose the boring, proven path instead. When you master the psychology that Bill Gates uses, you stop being a victim of the economy and start being the architect of your own financial future.